Welcome back, guys. So this is module 9. We're covering chapters 15 and 16. You guys are almost done. So by this point, we've really developed the nutrition program. We have developed the exercise program. We've talked about the theories of why they've been developed the way that they are. So really the rest of what we're going to cover is kind of just added things. So today we're going to talk about the drinks, what we're consuming as far as liquid beverages and how that may help or hinder weight loss. And then we'll cover some of the psychological pieces as well. And then after that, we're essentially, that's it. And so you guys are almost there. Hopefully you're excited. I hope that you're applying this information. And so let's get going. So let's talk about beverages. This first one is first thing we're going to talk about is very important, and in my mind, is probably the simplest thing that you can do if you want to avoid gaining weight. The number one source for added sugars in this country is sugar-sweetened beverages, so soda, Gatorade, juices, and this is a big contributor to obesity. We know this is a big contributor to obesity. A lot of data shows that those who consume sugar-sweetened beverages are going to gain weight over time. One of the big reasons this is an issue is we've increased our portion sizes. It used to be in the 50s that the standard portion size was 6.5 ounces. That's not even a can of soda. Now the average is 20 ounces. And so we're just consuming a lot more calories. Data is clear, you're going to gain weight. So here's the solution. Don't drink added sugar beverages. Don't drink sodas. Don't drink juices. Juice is the fact or the thought of some that juice is healthy is ridiculous. It's just a bunch of sugar, and a lot of the nutrients have been stripped anyways. Gatorade's not healthy. Gatorade's meant for an athlete, not for somebody to consume as their drink. So don't do it. If you need to set a goal to help you move away from drinking soda and other things, then set that goal. So then the next step is, well, what should we be drinking? Well, obviously water. Let's look at the data on water and weight loss. This study was a 12-month study. And what they did is they put everybody on a weight loss diet. And then they also wanted, after the fact, they said, well, let's see if people who drank more than 1 liter of water a day lost more weight than those who drank less than 1 liter of water a day. So they ate the same thing in this study. It's just they differentiated it by the amount of water. What they found was that those who drank more than 1 liter of water a day had a 5-pound weight loss difference than the other group over a year. Just by adding water consumption, they lost an additional 5 pounds. Why? Well, one of the reasons behind this is we know that as we increase water consumption, energy expenditure goes up. We have to change the temperature of the water that we drink, and also the added water changes the osmolarity of the cell. Both of those things increase energy expenditure. This study that I'm referencing here again found over a year a 5-pound weight loss by ingesting 1 extra liter of water a year. And so that's one reason. The second reason water helps to lose weight can be identified from this study. In this study, they took a group of elderly men and they divided them into 2 groups, and they had these men eat the same exact diet. The only difference is one group, they had them drink a glass of water immediately before their meals. That was it. So they called it preloaded with water. So they ate the same thing. It's just one group drank a glass of water prior to their meals. What did they find? The non-water group after 12 weeks lost a little bit over 4 kilograms. The water group lost about 6.5 kilograms. They lost about 2 kilograms or 5 pounds more than the other group by drinking water before their meal. The reasoning behind that is because then they ate less during the meal. So if you struggle with overeating, then this is a very good technique that can be used to help you not overeat at your meal. Just drink a glass of water, and then you're more likely to fill your stomach up with water and not be ingesting things with calories. So yeah, we need to be drinking water. How much water we'll get to in a second. Now, for some people though, drinking lots and lots of water, they're just not going to do it. And so then we have to introduce, well, what about these artificial sweeteners or diet soda? This is an interesting area. Now, I hope that you listen to what I'm telling you and not extrapolate it out from what I'm not. A lot of people think that artificial sweeteners, so we're talking about diet soda now, okay? Artificial sweeteners will cause weight gain. The reason is because there's associations that link them together. Here's the percent of the population with a BMI above 30. Here's the percent of population consuming artificial sweeteners. Here's new products containing artificial sweeteners. So there's this correlation. In addition, many obese people do consume artificially sweetened beverages. I mean, the biggest, I guess, sign of this is the person that goes to McDonald's and orders a Big Mac, an extra fry, a frosty. I think that's Wendy's, whatever they do at McDonald's, and then they want a gallon of Diet Coke, as if the Diet Coke even matters at that time. But this association has sparked concerns that diet drinks may provoke weight gain. Even people go so far, and this is really a pet peeve of mine, of saying you would be way better off drinking the regular soda than the diet soda. The facts are that there's no data to support that whatsoever. None. What we know is when we ingest sugar-filled food, so say regular soda, it does increase our preference for more sugar-filled food. We know that. Artificial sweeteners are extremely sweet. Because of that, a lot of people have proposed that it's going to cause you to change hormones and want you to voraciously eat more. That's the suggestion. Is there data to support that? Well, here's one study that tested this question. What they did is they took a 10-week program, and all they did is they took people and they supplemented them, meaning they took their normal calories, they didn't change calories, and then they had them either consume a drink that was flavored with sucrose. Sucrose is just table sugar, okay, so that's real sugar, versus an artificial sweetener. That was all they did. And they wanted to see what was going to happen. Like, were they going to eat more food? What was going to happen? So here's the sucrose group. So week 0, and let me hide that here. So here's week 0 before they started. So here's carbohydrates. That's what they had from carbohydrates. They separated, sucrose is a carbohydrate, but because of the study, they separated that out. So there's sucrose. Here's fat, here's protein, and that dark black on top is alcohol. That was baseline. Then they added the sucrose supplement, and that's why we see sucrose goes up this much. And they wanted to see if adding the sucrose caused them to eat any more, and it didn't. Meaning they added the sucrose and they had extra calories from the sucrose, but that was it. Now, where is the artificial sweetener group? So here's week 0. They added the artificial sweetener in here, and we see that there's no change in any of these bars between week 5 and week 10, meaning adding the artificial sweetener did not provoke them to eat more sugar, fat, carbs, anything. Then what they found, if we look at the change of body weight, the group that added the artificial sweetener, they actually lost weight over the course of the 10 weeks. They lost about 1.5 kilograms, which is about 4 pounds, or about 4 pounds. And so it provoked weight loss. The data is completely clear on this, that if you're a regular soda drinker, and that's the key. I'm not suggesting that just adding diet soda or something causes you to lose weight. No. But what I'm saying is if you regularly consume sugar-sweetened beverages already, and then you switch to a diet version that's 0 calories, you lose weight. If you argue that, when people say, oh, it'll cause you to gain weight, that I don't know where they're getting that information. That data doesn't exist. You will lose weight. Now, the next question then is, well, what's better, water or diet soda? Now I have to be careful. Okay. Listen to this whole thing through before you start to mumble under your breath about me. This is just looking at weight loss. So what they did is they took people who were already soda drinkers and they randomized them into one of 3 groups. One group was, instead of drinking their regular sodas, they drank diet. The other group, instead of drinking their regular sodas, they drink water. There was a third group called the intention to treat. That's just a statistical term. We're not going to worry about this group. They didn't do anything that we care about. Okay. So we're looking at these 2 groups. So the first thing that the researchers asked is they said, okay, did they do what we asked? So here's on panel A, they're looking at the amount of diet beverages that they consumed. And the diet group, which is the middle, yes, they increased and they consumed a lot more diet beverages like they were supposed to. The other groups did not. This is looking at water, the water group. Yep, they consumed more water just like they were supposed to. The other groups did not. Now we look at weight loss. All groups lost weight. The group that lost the most amount of weight was not the water group, it was the diet soda group. Now the water group lost weight, but the diet soda group lost more. It was found that diet soda, not water, significantly increased the probability of losing 5% body weight over the 6-month period. Again, don't take this to mean that just start drinking artificial sweeteners. If you're drinking full sugar things, switching to diet will help you lose weight. Now, why did diet soda do better than water? Let me pause on that, and I'm going to come back. To make my point, let me show you this 2016 meta-analysis. Does low energy sweetener consumption affect energy intake and body weight? They included about 2,255 articles. So this was a very good summary. It shows that the weight of evidence indicates that decreased energy intake and body weight with consumption of artificial sweeteners relative to sugar, meaning you will lose weight if you go to artificial sweeteners versus sugar. Furthermore, artificial LES is low energy sweeteners. That's artificial sweeteners. Furthermore, artificial sweeteners do not appear to increase energy intake. And in human intervention studies tend to lead to a decreased body weight, even compared with consumption of water in the groups tested. Let's talk about why. There's nothing magical about diet soda or artificial sweeteners that lead to weight loss. Let me tell you my brother, though. My brother has been a soda drinker for his entire life. And I keep telling him, man, you got to stop drinking that soda. And so what does he do? He'd say, okay, well, then I'm going to just drink, I'm going to go to water. So he goes to water and it's bland. And there's no caffeine, and he's used to caffeine. And so he's getting his caffeine headaches. It doesn't taste good. He says, screw this. And he goes back to soda. What has he done now? I said, all right, just go to diet. At least I want him drinking more water, but let's meet people where they're at, and let's go from the full sugar option to diet. And he goes to diet and it still has a sweetness to it. There's still the caffeine that he is used to. He can stick with it, and he's removing a lot of sugar and calories from diet, and he's losing weight. The goal, obviously, we want people to drink more water, but having artificial sweeteners can be an aid to those who may need that sweetness. So back to, you'd be way better off having the artificial or the regular stuff versus artificial sweetener. There's no data to support that. That's just stupid. It really is. We know that if you drink soda all the time, you're going to get diabetes, heart disease, and cancer. We know that. In some obscure study, when they gave them copious amounts of aspartame, there was a weak link showing that it might be carcinogenic. That is not the same thing as what I just told you about regular soda. And so I'm not saying diet soda is good for you. I'm just saying it can be a tool that will help you lose weight. Now, what about the fears that people have that maybe they might be carcinogenic? Again, data doesn't support that. Despite some rather unscientific, this is from this review article, assumptions, there's no evidence that aspartame, which is one of the big artificial sweeteners, is carcinogenic. According to current literature, the possible risk of artificial sweeteners to induce cancer is negligible. So you don't drink full sugar products. Either go to water or go to diet soda. If diet soda is going to help you stick to, or I'm just using diet soda as an example, Crystal Light, something like that. If it will help you and give you a sweet flavor, do it. You'll be fine. So let's talk about your water consumption goal. You need to set a water consumption goal that will help you get about a half to an ounce of water based off of your body weight in pounds. So if I'm 210 pounds, depending on what, where I'm going to go at, I maybe have 210 ounces, depending. Now, so I'm from Arizona and it's hot, I sweat, I exercise a lot, I'm going to go with the high end. If you don't sweat a lot, you're not in a very hot, humid area, you can go on the lower end. And so you can make that decision, but set this a goal for you to increase your water consumption and to remove sugar sweetened beverages. Now, in context, or I guess together with this concept of what we're drinking, I do want to talk about detox diets and detox drinks. Um, do you need a detox before you get going on this program? No. What does that even mean? What the average person that says, oh, I'm going to detox, what the heck are you talking about? I often will say, well, tell me what you're detoxing from. And they're like, well, I don't know, bad things. Name one. I don't know, all that stuff that's out there. Okay, tell me what all that stuff is. And they have no idea. This is the biggest, I don't know, mass delusion that has been thrown out there in the weight loss industries. A couple problems. The term toxin that we're supposedly needing to eliminate from our diet or our body, it's ill-defined. We can label anything a toxin. And so that creates a problem. Let me pose some questions to you in relation to this concept of detox diets. I took this from a prominent researcher who posted this in a medical journal that was published recently. And he was talking about how really this concept of detoxing is just so foolish and it's just grown out of control. He said that he reviewed 8 detox diet books. And as he reviewed these books, he asked these 4 questions to see if they could answer any of them. Question 1, what precisely are the toxins that are said to be building up in the body? Right? We always talk about them. Name one. 2, where is the evidence that they actually threaten our health? 3, who has actually identified and measured these things? And then 4, where is the evidence that they can be eliminated by your diet? Not one of the books addressed any of these things. Meaning when we're going these crazy detox diets, we just make the assumption there's all these toxins out there and we're just inhaling them in, or they're in our food or whatever it is, and they are just causing us problems. That's make-believe. Even though it's make-believe, we still have 92% of naturopathic doctors report using this to treat patients, with weight loss being at the top of the list. If you drink cayenne pepper and lemon juice and that's all you drink every day, of course you're going to lose weight. You're not eating anything. It must be understood that the body was built to rid itself of impurities. Things that are toxic, so to speak, they're excreted in urine, feces, sweat. When we go on a detox diet, we're making the assumption that the body's not working the way that it's supposed to. It's broken, and my magical diet will fix this. And we don't need to. There's no evidence for this anywhere. A couple other things on this. So when we're talking about this role of detoxing, we're assuming that chemicals can be divided up into good or bad categories. They might say that, oh, it's natural, it's good. Well, that's not true. Certain things like molds can become toxic, right? Metals such as mercury is toxic. And so usually it's the dose that makes the poison. Like, how much of it are we consuming? In 2012, the World Health Organization said that endocrine active chemicals, now that's the scientific term for toxins. They said that there's no evidence that the level of endocrine active chemicals in the environment is posing any health. One of the ones that has been identified that we know is somewhat toxic is persistent organic pollutants, or POPs, and organochlorine pesticides. But these have been banned since the 1970s, and there's no level, or there's no evidence that the level that they were even in our environment posed any sort of threat. So there's no evidence that removing them would do anything. So what I'm saying is we have no evidence that this is actually a problem. The thing that's funny to me too is we're at a state in our country, and I know we always want to do more for our environment, but our environment has never been cleaner. Meaning the time in our history where we're the most concerned about quote unquote toxins is when our air, our water, all this has never been cleaner. Now, is there evidence that it can help us lose weight? Here's the review article reference, the conclusion. At present, there's no compelling evidence to support the use of detox diets for weight management or toxin elimination. Then why? Why does everybody do it? Because I'm telling you this, and this is the facts, and you still might find yourself falling in the lure of, oh, I just got to detox before I start a diet. I love the way that the authors presented this. If I'm a Christian, and so if I do something wrong, I go through the process of repentance. I have to cleanse myself. That psychology of needing to cleanse myself so I can keep moving forward is innate in the human psyche. So what that means is when I eat a bag of Oreos and I'm like, oh my goodness, I just took something that was evil and put it in my body. It's natural for me to feel like I must cleanse myself before I feel purified. And this detox, the cleansing process, there's no evidence for it whatsoever. But that's why we tend to do it. So it's not needed. Don't fall for these gamuts of detox nonsense. And don't misunderstand me. A healthy body will function better to rid itself of impurities. All I'm saying is their magic juice or laxative is not going to aid in that. So what's the take home message? Drinking sugar sweetened beverages will definitely lead to weight gain. Increasing water consumption will aid in weight loss. In addition, drinking a glass of water before you meal, that will help you not eat as much food during the meal. So that might be a goal for you if you struggle with overeating. The use of artificial sweeteners is definitely permitted. It won't hinder weight loss, and it may help you if you want to taste something sweet. And don't buy into the detox nonsense. Application. Reflect on what you consume in the way of beverages. If any of these contain calories, remove it. Don't drink your calories. You can replace it with water or sugar-free option. You might want to set a goal to do this. We talked about the water goal already. And then there's a place in the planner that I want that you should record your water consumption. Okay, I need to pause here and end part 1, and then we'll come back for chapter 16 for part 2.